actually the up-and-coming comedian in Lebanon. He's also an entrepreneur. He's been on Shark Tank. To call yourself an entrepreneur, does it feel comfortable for you?
Didn't start good at all. It was the worst start. Trainings the way they were.
I used to give those trainings.
I sent my resignation letter and said, no. There is a whole set of new skills that I have to learn. The performance or the performer. Yeah, another book. People are laughing a little bit. In your mind, this is the end of your career. When you stop being nervous, this is where you start going down. Sometimes you make people laugh for the wrong reason, and I did this.
Hey guys, welcome to the Inside Track with me, Luca Allam. I've got someone who's actually a friend of mine, a friend of the show as well. He's a comedian. He's actually the up-and-coming comedian in Lebanon. He's also launched his own TV show in Lebanon. He's also an entrepreneur. He's been on Shark Tank. He's done all kinds of things.
I'm coming from Lebanon. I studied economics. I did my master's degree in international relations. I did my MBA. I'm doing stand-up. People here in Dubai ask me this weird question. Where do you come from? I tell them, Lebanon. Lebanon, no electricity, no government, financial crisis. Why did you come to Dubai? I came to charge my phone.
John, welcome to the show.
Luca, thank you so much for hosting me. Really.
You're
I'm
welcome.
super happy. I'm super excited.
Lots to talk about.
Start.
There's a
Go
lot.
ahead.
But before we talk about, I see you've got a very nice I came to charge my phone mug. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, it was the joke that made me famous in Dubai. So I came to charge my phone. It was a joke that went viral 2 years ago, and this is where I realized that maybe it's a good thing to become a comedian.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's designed by my team in Beirut because they were super excited. So I have a company that design and produce board games and stationery stuff. So they designed this to me when they visited me in Dubai. It's
Very
nice, yeah.
It's very cool.
Good
I remember. That's a great story. I remember that joke. It was because there's no electricity right in Lebanon, so you had to come to Dubai to charge your phone. You know, at the end of this, it's going to end up on that mantelpiece with all the other mugs up there.
I'm keeping it here. No one told
Just
me.
Capture that face, that shock horror.
This is my anyway, we will figure it out later.
You'll come back season 3. Look, really, welcome to the show. I think I also, just for you to know, I don't know if you've watched, I'm sure you have, one or two perhaps.
I did.
I do have a safe word as also part of the setup. So if there's a question I'm going to ask you later on that you don't feel super comfortable with, which I don't imagine that's the case for you.
Yeah.
But in case there is a question that you don't like answering, what is your safe word?
It will be Tony.
Tony? Big
yeah.
Tony?
Tony is my manager now, so and he's here watching me. So in case there is something that I shouldn't answer, maybe Tony will scream Tony.
Yeah, or maybe Tony will come and attack me. He looks like quite a tough guy. I'm gonna keep my. Can I call him Big Tony?
Big Tony.
Or Antun? Or yeah. Like it's a great safe word. And Tony, welcome also to the show. Happy to have you. Yeah. John, you're a great guy. I have to say it. First and foremost, I really enjoy your company. Yeah. I love hanging out with you. I love talking to you.
Thank you, Luca.
First time I met you, it was at a concert. I just left. I think it was in Dubai for sure, but I can't remember exactly where it was. And we have a mutual friend, and she introduced me to you after the show. And I was like, yeah, he seems like a pretty cool guy. And then I met you in Lebanon with a small, intimate group of friends.
Yes.
And we had a great evening. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and we had a lot of conversations.
We did.
And you told me you wanted to launch.
I did.
You
told me
and it's happening.
And
wow,
you told,
yeah.
Thank you.
This is great.
Thank you.
And now your pictures everywhere in Dubai.
Yeah. And Beirut, by the way, you can find me.
And Beirut.
Ashrafia, yeah, check it out.
Ashrafia, there are. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So your 10 months since the last time I saw you properly and had that conversation, you've had an amazing 10 months. You've gone through so many different things. When you look back, how would you describe the last sort of 10 to 12 months of your life?
I can only describe them with gratitude, because even I'm somewhere where I never imagined I will get. Like this tour, like now I was touring a few weeks ago and we did like 40 cities.
Wow.
More than 8,000 people while touring, other than the people who watch me in Dubai or in Beirut. Wow. And it's crazy because I was never expecting this. We did a whole tour, touring 40 cities with zero marketing budget spent. It's only word of mouth. It's only people checking out the stories, checking out the reels. I don't even know what's happening. It's beyond what I could have ever imagined. It's every time, even like I was in France the other day doing my show in Paris. In the middle of the show, I got this moment of realization, and man, I'm standing in front of 300 people, and people were looking at me, and who am I? And then like it took me 5 seconds. There was a glitch in the system. Like I stopped doing nothing, and people were staring at the stage. And okay, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And then there was my performance coach coming to me at the end of the day. He told me, John, what happened to you during these 5 seconds? I told him, Rafi, I don't know. Really, I was overwhelmed. I was just staring and not knowing what's happening. So now it's more about being grounded again and to feel.
But it's a great word. Grateful is a great word. But you've done a lot. A lot of things have happened. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, I hate to say it, is Shark Tank.
Yeah.
What happened on Shark Tank?
I loved this experience of Shark Tank. Like for me, failure is part of what I do. This is what we learn.
Was it a failure though for you? Did you see it as a failure?
It was a failure per se if we put it just in the context of Shark Tank itself.
Yeah.
Because so technically we didn't get the funds, but actually it was the best thing that ever happened to us because we didn't get the funds. We had a lot of mentors, a lot of clients interested with our products, a lot of people who wanted to collaborate with us. And then when we, actually what we were selling, because I have this board game design company, what we were saying is to take it into another level, into the VR experience, and to design games for learning and development purposes. Okay, obviously the jury didn't get the idea, and I didn't explain it well enough. Yeah. Okay,
but you had people after the show calling you up from random places. You had a Romanian call you up.
Yeah, we had Romanian partners, we had Saudi partners, we had people in Dubai who were super interested. And I said, no, John, don't care about the jury. You have actually to evaluate your product on a higher price. And then we realized that it was a bad decision actually to go to Shark Tank because the whole valuation of the product or the company were already super low. Yeah. So now the valuation got higher, we got new partners, now we have we already signed few projects and what we always wanted to do. So actually it was a failure by itself, but then we realized it was a great thing.
Yeah. And this is the entrepreneur side of you, because you are an entrepreneur, right? You're a comedian that everyone knows you for, and you're now a TV host. Yeah. But how does it feel to call yourself an entrepreneur? Does it feel, when you wear that word, does it feel comfortable for you?
Yeah, it's entrepreneurship today is just going with the flow, adapting to uncertainty, making sure that you're that every day is a new reality and adapting to this new normal on daily basis. This is what I learned from my entrepreneurial journey, and this is what I try to put in place in my stand-up career. And I think this is the difference between me and other comedians, because I'm also dealing with my stand-up comedy career as an entrepreneur. So every day is a new normal. Every day there is a whole set of new skills that I have to learn, and khalas, I have to learn them. I don't have any option. So if this is the way to do comedy today, this is the way to do comedy today. So I will have to adapt.
100%. And your company is called Overthink?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Overthinking sometimes is not so good, but not in this case.
Everything.
With a K on the end. And how is that business doing?
It's good. Like we do a little bit of retail business in Beirut, but most of our project is actually to design board games for learning and development purposes. And this is our core business. We started as a simple retail business. I used to go with my mom to China to import our goods to Lebanon. And then with the crisis, we realized that you have to design and produce our own products in Lebanon. And then we also took it to another level when we thought that the whole added value of the team is actually to design the games themselves. And because I used to wear the hat of consultant in learning and development, and I used to deliver trainings in Dubai, I realized that there is a gap, that trainings, the way they were delivered, it was super man. And did you used to get this type of
I used to give those trainings. That was me. I basically helped form your business model. That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so then I realized, okay, let's put everything under one umbrella. So John, the comedian, will get this team to design a new type of training. And it's an amazing idea because I feel this is what's missing. We need experiential learning.
Learning needs to be fun. It needs to be gamified.
Definitely.
Do you think your business is now being helped because you've become more of a household name?
Definitely. definitely. And it was with the support of my mentors. Like they told me, John, you really have to focus on your comedy, and then your comedy will get you other line of businesses as well.
Because I was asked you before you came on, I was like, how do I introduce you? Do I call you a comedian? Do I call you an entrepreneur? Do I call you a TV host? Like, you know, do I call you?
No, TV host is too soon. I need
Too soon.
more like more 5 years, I think.
5 years. So
to embrace it
yeah.
fully as a TV. No, TV host is just too soon to be called TV
So
host.
while we're talking about it, so you've just finished season 1, right? You've shot 23 episodes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
And it didn't start great, did it?
No, it didn't start great. I think you're it didn't start good at all. It was the worst start of a TV show. There was an article in Beirut that it's the worst TV show since 20 years. Imagine.
What?
And my mom sent this article to the family group. She wasn't supposed. Like she had all other options not to send the article. Yeah, it was really bad. It started in the worst way possible, and luckily, I think because it has to do with my entrepreneurial mindset. Okay, I know that we failed. Okay, I know at some point that we failed, and I said, okay, what to do about it? Are we going to stop, or are we going to do something about it? And this is where we changed the team, we changed the way, we changed our mindset, we changed our way of how we're dealing with this show, and then luckily, now it's ranking. It's among the best TV shows, and people are waiting for season 2. I wasn't expecting that anyone will be waiting for.
And it flipped on one episode. Would you say, like things started to turn up to 5 episodes, give or take? It was the life coaching episode really started to make.
Actually, on the life coach episode, I went to the management at LBC and I told them that this is gonna be my last episode. I told them, guys, I cannot handle the stress anymore.
Well, I want to talk to you about that. Yeah. So did you go on knowing that this is your last, and did that make you a better host?
Maybe because I didn't care anymore. So it became my true self.
You took the pressure off.
I was super real on TV that even people, while we were shooting the episode, told me, John, anything changed about you? And I said, no, fine, guys, it is our last episode. I won't say, and no, the rest is history. It's not, and no, it's a good thing what happened. Like I felt, khalas, I'm relieved from all the stress, and you know it also for a fact. Like imagine the difference between the first episode you aired and today. It's and dealing with the cameras, knowing where to look, being your true self is something.
Yeah.
And before I used to think, man, this is the easiest thing on earth. And, dealing with the camera, man, I knew it. I've been going on podcasts and everything. And then when I went on TV, people were telling me, John, please stop. This is really not for you.
Wow.
It was really bad. But I'm happy. I'm happy because also it ended up the way I always wanted it to be. So for me, this show has to score high on value and on entertainment. Yep. And it didn't go the path of normal TV shows.
You weren't being yourself at the beginning, were you?
Yeah, in the beginning, because there was a huge pressure on me. Like, John, this is what we're used to have on TV. This is the only way to do TV. You have to do scoops. You have to say something super weird on the show so it can go viral. And then I told them, guys, but I'm not here to do TV the way it used to be. So.
Yeah, 100%. So, but LBC, they stood by you. And they've supported you, and I know you see them as a family.
Yeah.
What would be your message to LBC right now?
I'm also super grateful.
Okay, so same.
I'm really. It's. I think gratitude is the word for me at this stage, because like sometimes we get into places without realizing that there was a whole support system. Like there was a whole. I wasn't alone. Like you feel sometimes when you're on the top, I made it. But then you realize, and actually, it's not only you. It's a whole team of people who trusted you, who did the extra step, who took the risk.
And have patience, because that's it. In TV and ratings, if ratings aren't strong in anything, in any type of media, if you're not being able to deliver a strong product or to last 23 episodes, that's phenomenal.
On the second episode, there was something in LBC, not in the management. She told me, this type of shows don't last after the 5th episode. She told me explicitly before going on the show. Like imagine now someone telling you something very negative, just a few seconds before going to shoot. Khalas, you're destroyed. And it's not, you have this emotional intelligence you can regulate. No, you cannot regulate anything, neither your emotion, neither the way you're handling. And it stresses you out, but fine. Luckily, it ended up well.
But you're best known, of course, not Shark Tank, not being a TV host, even though you're saying you're not, is being a stand-up comedian. Your comedy career, is it fair to say that you started in 2011 when you had to try and petition your way to go on a school trip as a Boy Scout?
Scouts. So we wanted to go to this trip to Turkey, and we didn't have enough money to go to Turkey. So we said, okay, what a great idea, let's do a stand-up comedy show. And I didn't even know what is it to do a stand-up comedy. So I used to watch Gad Al-Maleh. I used to watch a few comedians that inspired me to start, but I never wanted to become a stand-up comedian. So we went on stage, and I wasn't the only one. We were so many. And people told me, okay, John, the whole show was great, but for you, explicitly, I think you have to do more of this. And then I stopped.
As you do.
I stopped. I said, okay, when I'm going to do this? And then I did like one talent show competition in university, and I failed. Okay, and I said, khalas, it's not for me. Maybe I will do it later. And then I had the opportunity in 2017 to perform again.
That was awkward.
It was with awkward, and then everything has changed. It started like. I had a small show that went a little bit viral between 2018 and 2019.
But 2020 is when it all kicked off. In 2020, that's when you started going a little bit more
2020, it was, some reels were going viral, 2020. But when we talk about viral, it was just, I had like 7,000 followers. And like, I was happy if I post something and then there are 100 likes on the post. And I was like, wow, John, you did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And then everything changed with I came to charge my phone in Dubai in 2022.
Look, I've seen you live. You are funny. You are a funny guy. It takes a lot for me to laugh, typically speaking. And I think what makes you so funny, in my opinion, relatable, is because you are relatable and down to earth. I feel like I can have the same conversation with you and you'll act exactly the same whether I'm having a dinner, a drink, I'm in a public setting, I'm with a few people, I'm with many people. You would be the same person. And that relatability, in my opinion, is what makes the crowd love you, right? And the relationship that you have that you build with the crowd, the co-creation of the joke, of the work, it's a love affair, right? That you've sort of started to master in over years, and you've become a master of the craft. But I feel a lot of people, comedians in Lebanon, are now looking at you and going, who does this guy think he is? Right, you're the new kid on the block. Is there a layer of jealousy because of the ability that you have to be relatable with your audiences?
First, I think in comedy there shouldn't be any competition. We should be supporting each other. It's a field, and the market is so big, and it's big for everyone. There is a place for everyone to perform. Okay? It's not only about the Lebanese market, it's way bigger. And I think my way of seeing the market also helped me to know which type of content I'm going to use. I knew since day one when I came to Dubai that it shouldn't be only about targeting Lebanese. So I should be more relatable. And last year when I was touring, people were telling me, okay, we like you, especially Egyptian, Palestinians, Jordanians, Syrian. They tell me, okay, John, we really like your content, but when we came to see you, it was more a Lebanese thing. And this year when I went on tour, people were thinking, John, wow, now we feel like before we used to get 50% of the show, now we're getting 90% of the show. And this is why I'm telling you, the market is so huge, so there is no need for this jealousy. But actually, like how life, like how everything happens in life, that people will feel threatened, okay? But I think how I see things, so if someone did something and he excelled at it, okay, better to learn from him. Like this openness for learning something new, this curiosity to understand how others were doing with their past, how they built their past, especially because it was off the beaten tracks. There was nothing built. Like we don't even know how a content can go viral and another content doesn't go viral. There is no secret recipe.
It's magic.
So I think the only thing that we should be concerned about is to be curious. And curiosity is not something within our Lebanese culture, right? We don't care. We see someone doing something great and then we say,
let's try and tear them down.
Exactly.
Right?
Why did he get there?
Why is that? But why is it in that? Why is that the culture?
You know, it's asking the why is not something that we don't question ourselves a lot, right? We're going into something a little bit philosophical.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry,
okay.
but it's a questioning. Like even your beliefs, you don't question them. This is what you were told to believe in since day one. Even the country, the whole system, you don't ask the right question.
Yeah.
We're only there sitting and saying, yeah, this is how we were dictated to live. And actually, one of my missions in life is just to tell people that you have full control on your circle of influence, and it's not how you were being told. Especially like in my special now, I attack a lot the corporate world we're all used to live in. Okay, and my question is, no, yes, maybe someone should question that this is not the right way to do things in 2024. And people in the beginning, they were attacking me, oh, John is questioning the corporate world, and then suddenly I heard that people were resigning after my show. Like a guy that I met now on the tour, he told me, John, you inspired me. And the second day after your show, I sent my resignation letter and said, no.
It was you.
Yeah, and John helped me to find the job. No, it wasn't the purpose. So I think this applies on everything. It applies on how people see comedy, how people see their lives, how people are... we're stuck, we're kind of stuck, and we always felt that we are helpless, we are victim of the system, and it's not, it shouldn't be the case.
This is fantastic, and I want to delve a little bit further into the mindset and what goes on inside of the mind of a comedian, and such as yourself, because you're still a young guy as well. It can be a very lonely place being a comedian, right? You can have a terrible day, right? You've had some bad news, and yet you have to go up on stage and make people laugh. You've also got messages that you want to get across that you are super proud of, or that you are convinced of, that you want people to be aware of as well. How much is your mindset, how critical is that for when you go on stage? If you're not in the right mindset, your comedy can be used to very damaging effect, versus if it is in the right mindset, it can be used for fantastic effect.
And I think it's something you learn, that when you're a comedian on stage, it's where my day starts. So this is so like drinking my first sip of coffee in the morning. This is where when I go on stage, when the host announces me, and ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Achkar. This second, I'm someone else. This is my true self, by the way, which is interesting. And sometimes during the day, it's not my true self. And then when I'm on stage, this is 100% authenticity to my own self. Yeah. And I go there and I know that I'm there, I need to communicate. It's not a monologue, right? It's a conversation, like the podcast we're having right now. I'm doing this conversation, and I need to be 100% present in this conversation for it to be a good conversation.
So you're saying you're always 100% present. The minute they introduce you, something snaps in your mind, and you put your game face on and you're ready.
Yeah, but it becomes, because I was coached a lot, and I had the support I needed, that people were helping me to have this right mindset. Like also it's about having ritual, like changing your clothes, going to have a shower just before the show. It's thing, khalas, I know that when like this shower, it's the last shower before the show. This is the clothes I'm gonna wear in the show. I'm going on stage. This is how things will happen. And I have the same move. I remove my cell phone. I put it on the left. I remove my wallet. Okay, and then I have a small paper for one of my jokes, always on my right pocket. And then I said, "Khalas, this is."
So it's almost superstition, right? In a way, right?
It becomes
so
like
it's
this.
a process, but it's also when you're on stage and you're making people laugh, and you can see it, you can see their eyes, and you can see their mouths, and you can hear the reaction. How does that make you feel?
This is worse than drugs.
What kind of drugs?
Unless you're addicted. La. This is actually I read a book about a comedian in the US that actually he stopped cocaine because of comedy.
Really?
Yeah. It's Joey. Big Joey. I will remember his family name, but like this guy, he said that his life was a mess. Okay, and then because of comedy, it was his new addiction. It's not always in a good way. Like another day, I don't go on stage it's there is something wrong, like as such.
Yeah.
Okay, and what will happen tonight? Why I'm not?
So
on
you're
stage?
addicted to it.
I'm addicted.
You're
to
addicted to
comedy.
the laughter, to making people feel good about something.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. Also philosophically, like you're always addicted for validation.
The word addict is not a good word, right? Because it has negative connotations.
Yeah.
But because you enjoy so much the pleasure of being. Where does that come from, John?
Definitely from my childhood.
What,
definitely, because I didn't get the validation I wanted. Maybe I got it in my family, but I didn't get it in school. Like I used to be bullied, and no, I didn't. I didn't have so many friends. I was staying alone sometimes during the recess, just waiting for the end of the recess. Sometimes I was praying actually not to have a recess, like to have something, just not to go outside and to wait.
Physical bullying, verbal bullying.
Yeah, it was overall like I was tall and I didn't know how to play basketball. No one used to choose me in their basketball team. Yeah, it was something like this, but something that everyone is going through, except the bullies themselves. You know. And then what happened? Like at some point, I used to do some jokes with some girls at school, and in one of the project we had. And it seemed that these girls were the popular girls at school. So they went to tell their bullies' friends that, oh, John is cute and mahdoom and he's fun. And then I used to be that guy who every time who raises his hand at school just to make a joke and actually to get validation. You know, you are... At some point, definitely, I was this guy who used to raise his hand to do this joke just to get the validation.
So was it a way of almost like becoming a self-protection as well as an identity, have your own identity in school, so people can know, he's that guy, we'll leave him alone. And you have to play that role, you have to keep doing it.
At some point, I think because of my scout experience, I learned that having this tool was always helping me to get what I want. And then I think I became something just because I used this tool. And actually after I became a president at school as a student representative, I became a scout chief, I became a vice president at university. It was all about using laughter to get what I want. Like I can be in a very serious meeting and then I have one joke that I have to tell, and then everyone will laugh, and then I will say something serious directly after it, and people will trust me because like this guy made us laugh.
It's a great skill.
Yeah.
Is it harder to make one person laugh? Let's say me and you right now having a conversation versus let's say there's 20 people in the room. What's harder?
Definitely, the fewer the people, the harder is the comedy because because there is something called contagious laughing.
Go on, make me laugh, John. Come on, John. Do it.
Usually,
I believe
like,
I believe in you.
No, but look what happened. Like now, today, I can talk about anything, okay, and then it's not relatable, it's not relevant for you, and then you won't laugh. Okay, you say, okay, John, I don't have this in my culture. There is nothing funny about it. But then if there are 3 other people and they will start laughing, you will feel bad. Okay, maybe he said something funny and I didn't.
I'll be honest, when I went to your show, so, I was like, there were some jokes. I was like, I don't get this. but then I was like, he's gonna pick on me. He picks on everyone, and I'm the only guy who's not laughing. He's definitely gonna pick on me. So I was just kind of sinking into my seat like this. I was like, please don't pick me.
But then you realize that this is what happened. But imagine on 700 people or 1,000 people, 2,000 people. Okay, it's even easier for us because you go there. At least you will find 100-ish people who are getting the jokes. They will start laughing, and then the others will laugh just as a direct consequence that.
Of course, it fuels laugh. It's like it's a ripple effect. You mentioned girls back in school days. Of course, you're now engaged right now to a lovely lady. I've met her.
Katya.
Wonderful girl. And you're planning to get married relatively soon.
Oh, yeah, we're getting married in September.
Feeling good?
15th. Wow, super excited.
Ready?
It's my second marriage.
And you haven't called in Tony yet, so I can keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. It's no, but I'm super excited, and I think we know each other really well because Katya was there at my lowest point in life. She was there when I moved to Dubai. She supported me. She took care of me, even if I wasn't the person I am today. Yeah, and I think this is what counts in marriage, right? Right?
100%. Are you asking me quite?
Yeah. Does it what counts?
Look, I've been married. I've been with my wife Rasha for we've been married nearly 4 years.
Wow.
But we were best friends for many, many years before that. And it's, I would say many, it was like 6, 7, 8 years. And I think that really does help build a foundation. And having a partner, because that's what it is, a partner, but having someone that you like, you enjoy their company and know that they have your back 100%, that's priceless.
Exactly.
That's priceless. So,
and this is something about marriage today. It's about really finding this person and making sure that even at your lowest points in life, you have each, how to say it in English? Your back, have someone's back.
Have your back. Yeah, have your back. Yeah, have your
good.
back. Yeah. By the way, I love your English. I haven't spoken Arabic once during this.
Really? My English sucks.
لا بالعكس يا bro
I will start doing stand-up in English.
يلا بلش. يلا, you ready to play a bit of improv? We're going to do a bit of improv with my bag of balls. In there, they've got different questions that are related to you, or the industry that you're in.
Okay.
Just take out one ball at a time, read it out, and we'll talk about it.
I'll take the ball.
Yeah, you're in charge, mate. You're in charge.
You're in charge. Okay, just you're putting me the question and you tell me you're in charge.
Yeah. Something like that.
Is TV in tune with its audiences?
Okay, so is TV still in tune with its audiences? In the sense of, is the content that TV is producing versus, let's say, TikTok, Instagram, whatever the case is?
I think TV in Lebanon still has its audience, and this is why I've chosen TV, because I think I wasn't able to get to this audience, which my parents' friends. Okay, and it's funny because before I used to talk about topics at home and no one cared. Okay, and then when I started to talk about the same topics on TV, my parents went, John, what a great idea.
So smart.
Like civil marriage. John, what a great idea to talk about civil marriage. I don't know, guys, we had this debate 3 weeks ago with the whole family, and you started shouting at me. But now because it's TV, it shows credibility. It shows, and now we trust this guy. Yeah. So I think it is until now, and I think TV, they know exactly that they have to tap into a new audience, and this is one of the reasons they got me.
So they're using you as a way, as a vehicle to make the content more relatable.
Yeah.
People get their news now from nighttime segments, right? So like, what is the stats? I think 50% of all Americans
50%.
get most of their news at late night shows.
Exactly.
So are you using that as a platform now to get across powerful messages?
Definitely.
I
think we have elections that will come sooner or later. It's supposed to come in 2026. Hopefully we'll get them on time. And I think this is the ideal way to transfer these messages. And I think this was the problem, because people, they were expecting me only as a comedian. And then I went there talking about very deep politics. And they were there, well, John, no, we only want you to do shallow jokes. And I don't know, guys, I'm not, I've studied a lot not to do only shallow jokes. And I think this is the right time to have this difficult conversation. We lack of conversations, right? And Beirut, it's
100%.
We don't have the space, this public sphere where people are allowed to talk on whatever they want.
Do people believe what's on TV now? In Lebanon specifically? Because
we're like stand-up, we have to create trust. Trust is another key word. We need to create trust. So also, when I started stand-up, people were looking at me, oh, John, okay, we don't like him. He needs a lot to become a comedian. It took me 5 years to prove myself. Now it will take me another few years to prove myself on TV, but we're recreating trust, because people don't trust TV, and it's known. They feel it's fake. Everything is fake.
But isn't that online as well? The same issue with what's real, what's not. On, if someone's watching something on Instagram or TikTok or Snap or Facebook.
It depends on what you're watching, right?
Yeah.
So
it doesn't have to be watching. It could be an article. It could be a message. Deep fake. Is it clickbait? Is it something that's just been created by AI? What is real? And can people really understand what that is anymore? And then is now the only way for people to actually be on a stage, standing up in front of an audience, actually conveying something, because they know that's actually real.
And this is another thing about comedy today. Like people tell me, okay, John, you're putting so much content online, up to 5 reels per week sometimes. Why people will come to your show? And for me, there is nothing comparable to the real interaction when you're there. You're there even if you know all the jokes. You're there to enjoy the show, this moment, this conversation, this interaction that is live. It's there you're rooting.
You're rooting.
With others. Like you feel it's your community. You're building, you go like when the show ends, people they start talking with each other even if they don't know each other. It's crazy. They go
It becomes
up
a
the
community.
theater
It's a
and I
community.
can see on their faces like hey, they feel and know they were there in the same experience. So this is what is 100% real. It's difficult to translate this experience, even if you're watching shows on Netflix. Now I'm more experienced. I know how these shows are edited. Even my show is edited. When like my whole show on Vimeo is definitely edited.
On the Inside Track, we don't edit. We give it the real truth. Please continue.
Okay. So yeah, we will edit this part.
No, we won't. My show, not his.
So now it's it's difficult to say what is edited, what is not. When you see my reels with crowd interaction, this is 100% what happened. Like this is not edited. Okay, but like my show on LBC is definitely edited because you need graphics, you need sometimes I'm repeating the same joke 10 times. Khalas, the crowd there is not laughing anymore, so we had to bring the laughter.
Yes.
Actually, you had a lot of comments that John, it's everyone knows that the laughs are fake. And I'm like, yes, sure. Yes, we know, you know, everyone knows. So yeah, that's it.
Time for another
one.
Let's do it. There's a few in there.
Okay.
We'll see how we get on.
Do you still make Katya laugh?
That's tough.
Wow, that's a good question.
That's tough, right?
No, I don't. She makes me laugh. I think she's a better comedian than I am. She has one of the most amazing joke that I ever heard, and I told her that I gave her 6 months grace period. If she's not going on stage with these jokes, I'm gonna use these jokes on my own. Okay, and it's written. I sent it to her explicitly on WhatsApp because she has some great jokes, and I don't want them to die like this without making any money out of these jokes.
Picture this: you and her, you're going away on a romantic weekend. Okay, you booked at a hotel. Okay, and you're coming up with some new material for your upcoming show. Okay, first person you usually share it with is Katya.
Never.
You never really?
I never, because every time I share with them, she tell me, John, this joke is not working, and it's the most horrible joke on earth. Man, the joke, I came to charge my phone, I tested it with her 5 minutes before going on stage. She told me, John, never do this joke again.
Yeah.
And I went on stage and I did it. And then this joke went viral 1 year later. And then one day I asked her, Katya, imagine if I listened to you and I didn't do the joke.
But man, that's how you know she really loves you, because she's not with you for your comedy. If she doesn't think you're funny, doesn't laugh, she loves you for who you are.
But she makes me laugh a lot.
Okay, amazing.
Really, she's... really, and I think there is something about partners when someone is a comedian that the other person is funnier.
Yeah, because they become the subject of most of the jokes, and you put them as great, and Yes,
so I don't make her laugh.
I think my wife now secretly wants me to become a comedian so I can put her in a good light.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Let's move on.
The performance or the performer?
Is it more important to deliver an amazing comedian performance that gets people laughing, gets people thinking, gets people wanting to change their behavior, or is it the performer that actually matters, the name of that person? Is it the performance or the performer?
They come along. Now it's easier, a little bit easier for me, because now when I go on stage, people know me. So people paid and they have expectation that they will laugh. So already their brain is triggered that they are gonna laugh. So this helps a lot.
But it's a weird thing, because if you're paying for it to be laughed, I'll be like, there'll be more pressure to make them laugh because they're paying for it. So in my head, I'll be like, come on, make me laugh then.
Yeah,
I'm paying for this.
But also because you're paying, you want to laugh. So you want a high return on your investment.
So you're tricking yourself effectively.
Actually, paid shows make people laugh more than free shows.
Do they?
Yeah. So this is why private gigs for us are one of the toughest, because people are there for company dinner, and this is something we do. Okay, so people come and they are in a dinner setup. Okay, imagine a Christmas dinner, and then guys, John Achkar on stage. No one cares. People want to eat.
Yeah.
And people want to eat, and they didn't pay, so the company pays. So the only person who is gonna laugh is the HR. No, they paid, and then they will come. John, you were great, and then no, I can see I wasn't great. Everyone mentioned that it wasn't great, but it's fine. But I think they come along because also if I'm the best performer in the world and my performance sucks, people won't like. And okay, I can stay in the market for a few years, but then there is no continuity in this. I should be I should give them the best performance ever, every show.
Yeah, but there are performers out there who are very, very famous who get on stage, they deliver subpar, but people go, I went to go see X, Y, Z because they're amazing.
I don't think they can. Depend on their market. If they have a huge market like the English-speaking comedian, they don't care. خلاص, they made it on their first 2, 3, 1 hours, and then now they don't care anymore because people, and they will tell you explicitly, people don't care. I'm going on stage. I'm gonna do whatever I want, and people will laugh.
Yeah, they're gonna make the money.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite comedian?
Internationally, Gad Al-Maleh, and I did his opening act in Dubai recently, and I'm gonna do his opening act again in Paris on 30 June in Olympia de Paris, which was another dream for me, that one day I will perform in Olympia. And another comedian that I like, it's John Mulaney, based in the US, because also he's a great storyteller. And Jerry Seinfeld for his entrepreneurship mindset. He's the richest comedian amongst all. He's the first comedian to reach the $1 billion wealth.
Is money important for you?
Obviously, no.
Pay him more money, obviously.
It's not important for me, but also it's a result of hard working, and I don't think we have to. If it happens, money is a result. The most important.
Does that always work out though, John? Because a lot of people work very hard. They kill themselves, right? And they don't make that much money, or they're not enough for them to feel like they deserve what they deserve. Is it
I think there are 4 things
sense?
that should be aligned. It's not only about, definitely not only about hard working, but there is this ikigai concept that I believe in, and that you have your passion to be aligned with your skills, to be aligned with the way you feel you're changing the world, with how you're getting paid. If you have these 4 things aligned, wealth will become something de facto. It will come as a result that you have everything aligned. But then if you're hard working, but then on something that you're not passionate in, or you're hardworking without improving your skills, or you're hardworking without having a meaning for what you're doing, this conversation is going so philosophical, but it's fine, yeah? Okay, it will be a problem, because at some point you will feel that there is something missing, and the alignment, there is something that's not...
it's called the inside track, so it's okay. We can get insightful. We can get insightful together.
So that's it. But
Very
I
nice.
feel money is always a result. It's not a purpose at all.
Okay. Do another ball. You enjoying this?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the upcoming 1, 2, 3,
Trade,
5.
trademarked, yeah, trademarked.
5, yeah. Being trusted or being trusted.
So it's more important to be trusted than to be liked.
Yeah.
Is that with your audience? Is that with your wife? Is that with
everything?
With your family?
Trust is the most important thing. If you break trust, you're breaking everything. If I break trust with my audience, خلاص, this is the end.
How would you break trust with your audience? How would that happen?
ما بعرف, by stopping to be truthful to myself. Is it English?
Yeah. They're not genuine anymore.
Yeah, it's not genuine.
People say John's no longer the same person.
It shouldn't be.
Well, you should. What I'm guessing is when you first started going stand up, 2017, when you were appearing at Awkward, this place called, it's a bar or something.
Yeah.
Whoever went to go see you in 2017 versus seeing you in 2024, they should be able to say, yeah, I still remember how he was, and they're very, very similar. That's kind of what you want to get, right?
Yeah, very
you don't want it to be
as a
totally
person.
different. Yeah, you don't want it to be, okay, the material will change, all that stuff will change, but in terms of who you are, you want that same person who was a little bit shy, a little bit nervous, not so sure.
And when you lose
yourself.
it, Luca, when you lose it, people tell me, are you nervous before going on stage? And my answer is that when you stop being nervous, this is where you start going down.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work this way. Stand-up is a real and genuine conversation with people. If you go there the feeling that you own the stage, feeling that you know it all, and I heard a lot of comedians asking, I used to ask them, guys, are you nervous? The known comedians are always nervous. Okay, and this is what I learned from Gad Al-Maleh, مثلا. He is nervous before going on stage. But now if you ask a comedian, Shu, are you nervous before going on stage? They no, I've been doing this million of times. And I know that this comedian will suck at stage. It's known. If you're going on stage thinking that you own it, this is the problem. People have enough of seeing people who act as if they know it all or they own it all. And maybe you know some people like this, big CEOs and big companies making you feel that, okay, they know it all. خلاص, we don't want to have people. We want to see vulnerability. We want to see someone genuine in front of us. And there is something, a new school in leadership called leadership through vulnerability. And like Brené Brown talking about it on Netflix and YouTube. And it seemed that there is a way today to build the trust when you show your vulnerability, not the opposite, not to show that you know it all.
Yeah, and I remember when I talked to you a little bit about why people like you so much, the relatability that you have. It's because of that vulnerability. It's because we see people. When I looked at you on stage, I was like, he could be me. He could be one of us. He is one of us, and that's the key. And I think the minute you stop doing that, trust is gone.
Yeah.
Flip it the other way though. Who's broken your trust?
Of a lot of people.
There's people disappointed you based on that.
Definitely.
So since you've changed in the sense of you become more popular, more famous, if you like, and more in the public eye, have people changed towards you and that trust been broken?
There was a lot of jealousy. Definitely there was a lot of people thinking, okay, John, he will never be able to sustain what he has right now. And I think I've learned a lot that how to make friends, how to know who your friends are. And I think for me, it meant the world to me when I saw the people who supported me during my downtime, during when, like, let's say, when the TV show started, compared to the people just who were here when just the show was picking up again. I mean, oh, John, you're doing a great job. And after they weren't here when we were doing all this. Your phone was,
you finish an episode, you check your phone, no one's messaging you.
No, zero.
Do you know how lonely that is?
Yeah,
that sucks. That really does suck. And people that you thought were close. And then a few episodes later, things start to change, and all of a sudden your phone gets a little bit brighter, with less charge. Yeah, no, it's very sad. Let's do another ball. Let's flip it. You got
my... very sad, John. Yeah, another ball.
Let's change the mood.
Let's move to another question. Zero empathy. John, very sad. Let's discuss something else. Audiences, friends or foe? What is foe?
So a friend or foe. So audiences, friend or foe. Is that what it says? Read it again.
Yeah. Audiences, friends or foe.
So foe is an enemy. So it's another word for enemy in English. Because I wanted a word with F. So friend or foe. Right?
So you got me a word that I never heard
no, don't worry. So
and this is why you asked me before the interview, John, what is your level in English? Foe, is it a word that you learned before? No.
You got to think of everything. We can maybe look at that. We can see how we can apply that to a board game. We get some word games. So, friend or foe, which when you go on the stage and you see the audiences, they can be the biggest help. But I'm guessing there are some people that will say, "Oh, John, you suck," or "Hey, John, you used to be funny. Oh, I've heard this joke before," and they can be real assholes, right? So, how do you deal with an audience that could be either friendly or enemish from foe?
Okay, for me, my audience is always my allies. Always, if there is something that happens and I got heckled, it's my mistake, not there. It means that either the host didn't talk about the fact that there is no heckling, either it wasn't clear enough, and also it's my mistake. Even if the host forgot to tell them that there is no heckling, it means it's my mistake because I didn't brief the host before going. So before, we used to see stand-up as, okay, if anything happened, it's the audience problem, it's the venue problem, it's the waiter problem, it's everyone's problem except us. Now I think, and this comes with a little bit of maturity when you see your performance, it's your problem first. What did I do to get into this situation? So maybe it's because I'm posting a lot of things online where there is crowd interaction and people think now it's a workshop, so everyone can say whatever they want and on the show. Maybe it's not clear enough. Maybe also the way I'm doing the joke, it's not snappy enough and I'm not getting enough of laughs so people can jump in the middle of the joke to give their opinion on the joke. It could be this way. So for me, we're doing this show together with the audience. It's never, when you start feel the adversity, I was impressed by
when you feel animosity maybe when people are adversity is when you're going through a tough challenge or going through something a bit difficult.
But I feel it's when you feel like
they're attacking you, right?
If you feel there is ice between both,
tension,
there is something wrong, you have to address it.
Because I was going to ask you, that was going to be my follow-up question, is you're standing on stage, you've got, let's say, 500 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, whatever the case is, and they're not laughing as much as you'd hope they're laughing, right? In your mind, you're thinking two things. You're thinking, either A, I'm shit and I've got to change and I've got to try and see how I can rescue this, or you're thinking something's wrong with the crowd and it's not me, it's actually them.
Never.
In a split second, you've got to decide how you're going to... So how do you try and get a crowd back if you feel you've lost them?
Wow, Luca, it's one of the toughest questions. Before, okay, first, there is no B. There shouldn't be B. It's never a crowd problem. It's your problem. Okay?
Very diplomatically said.
It shouldn't be. No, really.
Yeah.
When it comes to stand-up, if you think that this is a crowd problem, it will take you into a downward spiral and you will never be able to finish the show. And it used to happen to me before. So I used to go to the show. I felt that the audience is not here. And the only thing, Luca, that I had in mind that how I'm going to write a huge status on Facebook to tell everyone that I stopped comedy. Okay, so khalas, I'm resigning. Imagine in your mind, it's even worse than what's happening. Like, people are laughing a little bit. In your mind, this is the end of your career. Especially if you know someone that you know in the crowd. You know, that imagine a family member or a cousin in the crowd. Khalas, you feel ashamed of yourself. One of your bullies at school. Khalas, this is the end of your career. Okay, now it changed a lot. Now I know that if something, it's not... I had a show in Dublin not so long ago. I had a show in Dublin and I felt that the crowd was okay laughing, but it was not, we're not building this harmony and people were dying. You know, every time Katya tell me, John, how many people you want to die after each show? Okay, like.
By the way, that's our reel right there.
And then I realized, okay, John, maybe you have to sit a little bit. So there is my stool. So I sit on my stool and I address it. I said, True Dublin, how do you feel? Oh, I try to get some insight.
You need interaction with the crowd.
Yeah, so then you feel that something will break. Khalas, you have them back, you continue the show.
Yeah, I think I've done this. I've done a lot of public speaking myself, right? And I've had crowds of 1,000, 500, 200, 20. It doesn't matter. And I feel if you don't get that first interaction from the crowd, the longer you are hearing yourself and only yourself, the harder it's going to be. First thing you go on stage, get some interaction from the crowd. Make some weird joke. Do something a little bit different to feel the audience back. And once you have that, it becomes so much easier.
Address the elephant in the room.
There you go. You're going to use that. You want to take them on tour. Take them to Dublin. Take them wherever else. That'd be much better. I have an elephant in the room. I am Lebanese. Should we do another ball? Are you enjoying?
Yeah, I'm loving the question.
Amazing.
The message or the laughter?
Is it more important to get across the right message or to make people laugh? And don't say to do both. Don't. Is it the message or is it the laughter? The message.
Because sometimes you make people laugh for the wrong reasons. And I did this. And I knew that my joke was racist or sexist or politically incorrect. I have problem with the politically correct and incorrect, but let's forget this part. But for me, sometimes I was on stage and I did a joke just to get the laughter, and I knew that I shouldn't do this joke because it's a horrible message that I'm giving. And I continued.
We call those cheap laughs. Cheap,
I used to go into this a lot.
Yeah. So what stopped you?
I realized that now people know me, now people trust me. This is something that can break trust. Now people trust me. People are waiting for me to talk either in podcasts, either on TV, either even what is the messaging that I'm sending during the show. And I feel people started suddenly to reflect on what I'm saying. That, oh, he said this, he means this. Yes, he's right on this point. No, he's not right. And when I felt it started to become a reflection, especially like there was one joke that there is a teacher in university that started to use this joke in her course. And I said, well, guys, what's happening here? What's happening here? That it started to become like a thing that people reflect on. I said, I have a huge responsibility. I cannot say anything on stage anymore. And still I get backlash sometimes on a joke that I didn't mean, that people decided to interpret. But khalas, now if I do a mistake and I'm convinced in this mistake, I will go all the way. I did a mistake in one of my episodes on my TV shows. I posted a picture of a doctor that I shouldn't be posting because I thought this picture was public. and I apologize and I remove the video. But sometimes, خلاص, if I mean something and I'm clear in my head what I mean and what is my intent, and I try to make it clear as many times as possible, and people still want to attack me on something that I didn't do, خلاص, here also I have mine.
There's a line.
Yeah.
There's a very thin line between being, breaking trust, saying the wrong thing, and people being oversensitive. In a world that's, you have to be extremely politically correct.
Yeah.
And you said you wanted to kind of sidestep that a little bit. But what did you mean by you have to be politically correct?
There are topics we know. I will, instead of using the word politically correct, let's use another word, culturally sensitive. Okay, so when you go into a country and you know a little bit about the history or about the background or about who's coming to your show beforehand, you know exactly what people are expecting. And not every show is similar. Okay, every show should cater to this audience. We should understand who are we dealing with, who is this audience, where they are coming from, what are the nationalities. That's why I asked so many questions at the beginning. I asked what are the nationalities. There was one show in Istanbul, we had 20 nationalities in one show. So on every joke, I had to stop and to explain the joke. They paid, they have the right to understand what's happening. So for me, it's about being culturally sensitive. And it has to do with anything, with anything that has to do with the culture, religion, nationality, gender. I don't know. Like now it's, the sphere is super.
Nobody knows. That's the reality.
Yeah, nobody knows. And I really have to understand who I'm dealing with.
So when you go to you're doing your own gig, and in your audience, there's going to be people from different nationalities in there.
Yeah.
How do you have to tailor your jokes to make sure that you don't insult pretty much everybody?
Yeah, I do it I tell them, and usually in other countries I might use some swearing words, but because I know here you don't swear a lot, so I'm gonna use this safe word, not Tony. I use this safe word every time I want to swear. And then it's funny because now, and I tell them, guys, now I will use this word, and then you can imagine what is the swearing word that I was supposed to.
In my head, when you said that, I've got an image of you wheeling out Tony every time you need to use him on stage.
Tony, it's a tricky thing. I will give you an example, okay? Maybe you will gonna edit it later, but you decide. But this example that I had an opening act in Italy, doing my opening act in the show, and he asked if there are any Israelis in the room. And no, bro, you're coming to perform for a mainly Lebanese audience. If there are any nationality, there might be a Palestinian, Jordanian, Syrian, and at least do your background check, like your minimum, like just check where is Lebanon.
Yeah, was he doing it to get a reaction?
He was doing it out of lack of knowledge.
So ignorance.
No ignorance. It was a disaster. It set the mood in a very weird situation, and people were looking, why is he asking if there are any? And it was a disaster. I went on stage after this disaster, imagine, and this was his last joke, and he said, okay, guys, it seems the vibes are not getting well. Let's welcome on stage John Achkar. I was there.
They bring you in a bit early. Yeah. Do you think comedy is more important, like going back to Lebanon, comedy now is more important because of what's happening in Lebanon and the situation, and does comedy play more of an important role than it would normally do if everything is amazing and great, or is it the other way around? It's actually when everything is great, people are ready to laugh more, or are they now needing to laugh more?
Usually with problems, there are more things to joke about. Difference with jokes in Switzerland about someone who stole your bike. Okay, there is a lot to joke about in Beirut, but comedy is always needed everywhere. Okay, everywhere in the region, comedy is, even if it's not a political change, there is always a social change that people are seeking. There is always something in comedy that is avant-gardist when it comes in the way you see the society, or you see your life, or you see, because comedy is not only about doing a political change, social change. It's how you perceive your day-to-day 9 to 5 jobs. It's how you perceive your ما بعرف, how you order delivery to your office, or how you're sitting chilling on your sofa at night. So there is always a change that comedy is seeking. Even if the comedian will tell you, no, I'm not here for the change, I'm only here for the laughter, there is something in his content that will let you reflect on something.
What's your biggest message in your comedy?
For me, it's exactly like my vision is my mission. Is to let people believe that they have full control on their circle of influence, and there is no need to always feel helpless or victim of the system. We're not. Wow, this can be the.
You can see it now.
Yeah, not
John
the victim
Achkar,
of the system.
yeah. An insight with John.
But there are still balls.
No, there still balls. Should we do? There's still balls. Let's crack on with the balls.
Has the currency of comedy changed?
Has the currency of comedy
What does it
changed?
mean?
So you mentioned a little bit about the cheap tricks and the cheap comedy, right? Getting people love. Has it changed over time to how? It's not as important, or is it more important? And also the types of content, has that changed? So has comedy
it should change
changed?
because there is a lot of competition and you have to create your own line. And I think it's a good thing to have a lot of competition. It's good.
It's healthy.
It's healthy. It helps us to bring the best of ourselves.
But you want to bring people together, but actually not everybody wants to come together. Some people like to be alone. People don't want to be part of that. Fellow comedians I'm talking about.
Yeah, fellow comedians.
They don't want to be associated with 1, 2, 3. They'd much rather do it on themselves, whereas you're much more about...
But I think at some point we realize as a human being that competition is not like there shouldn't be competition. Even if we're competing, there is a way for us to collaborate. Collaboration is always the way to win at the long run. Always. Now companies know this. Okay, instead of competing, they start making oligopolies and things like this. Okay, but I think in comedy as well, there is always that. I think people now they will get a little bit of their insecurities and they will realize how to collaborate.
Inshallah. What's the last one?
Shark Tank. We talked. Shark Tank, sink or swim.
You like that?
It's good to end this on. I love my Shark Tank experience.
So you kind of mentioned at the beginning. So sink or swim. For you, it actually ended up helping you later on because of the learnings that you took and the connections that you made afterwards. But on the show itself, it wasn't the best experience. Yeah,
but there is something I remember that even when I went off the show and I called Katya, my go-to person on every situation.
Yeah, not Tony?
Not Katya. Back then it was... Now I'm good. And it will remain Katya. But when I called Katya, it was a great experience. It was a great experience. And then when I checked the video, I said, it was a bad experience. But then I realized, no, it is what it is. It's part of how you learn. It's how even I learned to have a better pitch. I learned how to...
You learned how to swim.
Yeah. And this is amazing.
Man, you're
amazing. It's part of me controlling my circle of influence.
Yeah. And Jad.
It was a good ending.
I love how you bring it back.
Because you wanted to end like 10 minutes ago. Let's do an episode of 5 hours.
Guys, let's get some more balls. I want some more balls. Tony, Habibi, please.
Bring any question.
Whatever you got. But what I love, they're so well perched on the table that they haven't fallen off yet. You see it? You've done that so well.
Man.
Are you clean at home? Is Katya, is she impressed with your tidiness at home as well?
Not at all. I don't think I'm the messiest person on earth. And,
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's how my ideas come all together. Doing 100 and you should be messy. If I'm so organized, I'll say, no, I won't have time for this, but I'm doing everything.
John, I want you to come back on the show later on, maybe next season. I want to hear about what's going on with you. I want to stay in touch. And look, it's been great. It's been great.
Thank you. There are no more balls.
There's no more. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you soon on the Inside Track.